Hello, welcome to episode 19 of the Epic Film Challenge 2001 Movies You Must See Before You Die. 4 weddings and a funeral. Or, actually I was going to say something that would spoil it, but I'm not going to. I'm not going to be that cruel. Though I don't feel like it's a film that really is almost, it wouldn't really spoil my, I don't know. What did you think of the film?
It's a nice, typical British comedy romance thingy.
Yeah, a nice typical British romance comedy thingy.
It's typical British humour, isn't it? And well, I think it is parts of it.
Yeah.
Kind of reminds me of Love Actually and Notting Hill and all those other movies that are British, you know.
Well, there's a very good reason for that. It's the same guy who wrote all of them. So.
And the same guy who stars in them.
So 4 Weddings and a Funeral is about a group of characters who all meet up together and are all at the same 4 weddings and a funeral. It pretty much sets itself up with the title. It was the film that kind of really launched the career of Hugh Grant and Richard Curtis, who wrote the film. He went on to write Notting Hill, which is another huge success, and then he wrote and directed Love Actually. And these 3 films feel very similar. I mean, you could even go to About Time. Even though About Time is completely different to those other films, it still feels very much like a Richard Curtis written film. Just the characters, I mean, in a way he kind of does the same kind of thing.
Yeah.
The same kind of characters, like Hugh Grant's sister in this one.
Reminds me of the goofy one in Notting Hill.
Yep, definitely.
Lot.
Yeah, like really a lot.
Almost thought that was the girl.
Yeah, and then there's a character in About Time who's a bit similar as well. So I mean, he does, you know, I think he's a great writer and he's great at writing comedy, but the characters they're pretty much very similar. Even Hugh Grant, down to the the floppy hair and the mannerisms and everything. He just always plays the same kind of character in these films. But this was kind of the first one, I guess, and I'd never seen it before. It's one of those British classics, and critics praised it and everything. And it's got a lot of good actors in it. There's good performances. There's funny performances. Simon Callow was great as the guy with the beard. And John Hannah was great in it, who plays his partner in the film. There's just good British actors in it. Then we have Andie MacDowell, I want to say, who's the American woman. And I have to say, as soon as I saw she was in the film, I was like, well, she's the love interest then. She's the exotic American. Again, there's nothing really out of the ordinary. There's nothing you can't really predict, I guess. I mean, there's a few things I thought, oh, but
it's a typical movie sandwich. It's like
a typical movie sandwich.
Well, yeah, it's a sandwich list kind of. It's like you got the romance, you got the drama, you got the challenge in it, and a solution. It's typical.
Yeah.
Cliche as well. What I want to say though is that I don't like that American woman, and that's funny because it's all set up to being a movie where you want him to get the girl,
Yeah.
Usually in movies like this, you're supposed to think that, and I think most people do. It's just that she's such a bitch in this movie. Oh. She's not like bitchy in any way.
Well, I tell you, we'll do a bit of spoiler talk. We'll just.
Yeah, but this isn't even spoiling.
No, I know.
Like
you don't like the Yeah, well, I want to talk about that as well. So I mean, there's not much more to really go into in terms of the basics of the film. It was, the directing wasn't. I mean, I never once noticed where the camera was moving or anything like that. So it's not that kind of film. It doesn't need to be. Yeah. It's about the performances, about the story.
It's not a cinematic movie in a way.
No, it's just but it's about the characters and the jokes and the romances and all that kind of stuff. Can
I say that? Cinematic.
Yeah. That fits, and I understand exactly what you mean. What was I going to say? Is it a film you must see before you die? Let's get right to it. No, for me, it's a no.
No, for me too.
I really enjoyed it. It was fun. I'll definitely watch it again. I like romantic comedies. In fact, no, I love romantic comedies. I enjoy them. They're great films to watch and just enjoy. And this is one of them. It's not one of the best ones I've seen,
I prefer Notting Hill. That's
exactly.
That's more up on the list of a movie you have to watch for me.
It's a constant comparison, I think, because I'd never seen this one. I grew up with Notting Hill. I loved that as a kid.
Yeah.
This one I'd never seen before, and so it was kind of like the one that I didn't, and it kind of was exactly as I expected. I enjoyed it a bit more than I thought I would. But yeah, it's a no. It's a very enjoyable film, maybe an 8 out of 10, something like that. Again, I really, really enjoyed it, and there were some really funny bits in it. Some bits that weren't that funny. There's kind of this upper class British thing to it that, I don't fully relate to in a way. But either way, pretty good. Not a film you must see before you die. And spoiler talk. Very briefly, as you mentioned, the American woman
she just kept leading him on.
Yeah, she was leading Hugh Grant on. Yeah.
Like she didn't seem interested in the wedding in the beginning, and all of a sudden she was there, and then she's like, "Oh well, I'm staying at this place," and she wasn't inviting him, but he popped up, and then she leaves in the morning, and it seemed like she was ready to leave without even saying so. And then 3 months later, in the next wedding, she's engaged to a man old enough to be her dad. Which
is fair enough at this point. Fair enough. She had a one-night stand,
yeah, but
whatever.
She's obviously been in Britain for a while without even contacting him.
Well, she doesn't need to. For me, there's nothing wrong with that.
That would have been fine if she hadn't made him sleep with her again.
Again, like, while she's engaged. And it's just like, oh, and you said it when I watched it, you're like, well, she's a cheater. And it's like, well, yeah, so
why would you want to be with that,
I
that
know,
would be
exactly.
like, oh, okay, so you're one of those girls, I can't expect you to cheat on me. Was that even his baby in the end? You never know. But he's like, yeah, that's my son, and she's like, no, it isn't.
The final shot of the film, after the kind of end of the film, is like a credit sequence with all pictures of characters after the movie, and you get to see, oh, they all got married in the end, and it works for the kind of film that it is.
They didn't.
Huh?
I don't think I saw a picture of them.
Well, the whole idea was that he didn't want to get married. But yeah, there's a picture of him and her and the kid, and I'm pretty sure that picture wasn't her. Mm-hmm. Her face looks photoshopped on. Just saying. Anyway.
But yeah, I have to continue on this girl because she continues to lead him on, and then receives the wedding invitation in the mail, and she wants him to go and look for wedding dresses with her. That is horrible. She knows he likes her.
Yeah.
And then, at the end of the day, like literally at the end of the day, he tells her he loves her.
Yeah.
And she doesn't say...
Well, she says, I like that. I like that.
And kisses him on the cheek, and then leaves.
And then
she doesn't say, like, oh, you're too late, or she doesn't close it off. She leaves him hanging again. And then there's the wedding. And... she's being all nice to him and shit like that. And
her wedding?
Yes, her wedding. And then there's the funeral of the guy who dies. We don't need to spoil that one. And I think it seems normal, but then he is about to get married, and she shows up, says that they got divorced. She knows he liked her. She planned that evil fucking skank, seriously.
Evil fucking skank?
Yes,
wow.
And
shots
like,
fired.
Is
Holy
it still
shit.
raining? I didn't notice. Fuck off.
Yeah, I think that's a good line. I don't think she delivered it very well.
No.
And it's interesting because I really like her. I've seen her in a few films, particularly Groundhog Day. She's great in that.
Yeah.
But and she was okay in this. In fact, I'd say that she was very good in this. But there was a couple of times where she was awful. Like, I guess it's just one of those things. Sometimes you just don't give a good line, and there was a couple of times where it just felt flat.
Almost as fake as her character was.
Yeah.
Just...
But like I say, for most of the film, she was very good and fit the role. But yeah, that was probably the main problem for the film was that, and also, how could he be in love with her? And without it being just this foolish idea of love that isn't even real. How he slept with her twice. He spent maybe a sum total of about not even a whole day with her by the end of the movie. They spent the night together. A couple of hours the first time. Again, a couple of hours the next time. Then they spent like an afternoon together. I mean, I guess
already knows she's a cheater.
You could fill in the blanks that they met up in between the events in the movie, but it just didn't seem like they even knew each other that well. And so it's a very superficial kind of thing. But it's kind of what these movies are about, really. So
They didn't even seem to have anything in common.
no, and so it still worked. It still worked, and it was still enjoyable. But I have to say, by the time they got together at the end, I didn't feel like I felt, yep, that's where that was going. So.
Well, it's one of those love at first sight kind of
I
movies.
suppose, yeah, but
You're supposed to think of them as soulmates and stuff like that, but
there's a lot of very good things about the film. The speech at the funeral I thought was very good and very well done.
that was actually the best part of the movie.
Yeah, definitely.
Which is kind of sad because it was a sad part, but that actor is just so good. Anything
Yeah.
that comes out of that guy's mouth, he's a great actor.
Yeah.
Is he in Sliding Doors?
Yeah, he's the guy in Sliding Doors.
Yes.
Yeah,
He is amazing, and yeah, that was a great scene. He was great.
And the whole film that does have that kind. It doesn't feel that real. It feels like kind of like a fantasy of what you would like a life to be like. You know, with all these great friends and everything, and everyone's a character and stuff.
How many friends can you have?
But that is part of the appeal of these films, and I definitely I never say I have a guilty pleasure, because I'll say to anyone I enjoy Twilight, you know, but it would be one of those films that I think other people would consider a guilty pleasure. You know, again, 8 out of 10. That's a pretty high score for a film like this, I think. But that's how much I enjoyed it. Just good fun.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching. Unless you've got anything else to add.
No.
No. Okay.
It was a good movie. I liked it.
Yeah.
I watched it for the second time. I'll probably watch it
But
again.
not a movie you must see before you die.
Yeah.
But check it out.